Ex-Abia official jailed alongside with Orji Kalu has been granted bail. Udegu was convicted of 7.1 billion naira and jailed alongside his principal, Orji Kalu, a former governor of Abia State, who bagged 12 years imprisonment. The Federal High Court in Lagos on Thursday granted post-conviction bail to a former Director of Finance and Accounts at the Abia State Government House, Jones Udegu, who was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment last December. Udegu was convicted of 7.1 billion naira and jailed alongside his principal, Orji Kalu, a former governor of Abia State, who bagged 12 years in prison. Following an application by his lawyer Chief Solo Akuma San on Thursday, Justice Muhammad Liman granted 50 million naira post-conviction bail to Udegu pending the determination of his appeal against the December 5, 2019 judgment of Justice Muhammad Idris, who sent him to prison. Akuma told the judge that his client was suffering from prostate cancer and tuberculosis. The Sun told the judge that Udegu was diagnosed with prostate cancer 3 years ago at the Abia State Teaching Hospital, and that in the course of carrying out tests on him, the hospital also discovered that he had tuberculosis. Akuma said Udegu was still making arrangements to book a date for surgery when he was convicted and sent to prison last December. In an affidavit filed in support of the post-conviction bail application, one Lazarus Agu said the correctional facility where Udegu was serving his jail term does not have facility to provide the type of medical attention Udegu requires to survive the ailment he is suffering from. He said the correctional facility authorities have failed to provide or arrange for the treatment of the second defendant outside the facility. The type of ailment the second defendant was diagnosed with is of communicable nature and exposes other inmates to great danger. In his ruling, Justice Liman said he was satisfied that Udegu had disclosed reasonable cause of action to qualify for a post-conviction bail. The judge said, "I am of the opinion that this application has disclosed reasonable cause of action that the defendant's health has salvaged by the doctor in the Correctional Service Center. Accordingly, this application is meritorious and succeed." He granted the 50 million naira bail with two sureties in like sum. The judge had on December 23, 2019 rejected a similar application by Kalu seeking a post-conviction bail pending the outcome of his appeal against his conviction. In his own application, Kalu had urged Justice Liman to release him on bail on the ground that he was battling some health challenges which the medical facilities in the prison could not handle. Besides, Kalu, who is the lawmaker representing Abia North, at the National Assembly prayed the court to release him on bail in the interest of his constituents so he could continue to represent their interests in the legislature. But Justice Liman declined granting the application, saying it lacked merit. Viewers, as you can see, the celebrating news of Orji Kalu's uh, uh, member of his administration. Yes, it's a big celebration to say, because it's not easy. It's not easy to see oneself suffering in jail, you know, and for the fact that you have been in in a position where everything good is already happening around you, and suddenly you find yourself in another environment that is not that doesn't worth it, you know. So I will personally say that Orji Uzokalo um, should be um, should be working towards the same fate. He should be working toward the same fate. Yes, I know that he may have applied for the same request and he was turned down. There's definitely a reason for that. But then he should not give up. He should keep trying. He should keep trying, because there is nothing that is impossible for God to do. But meanwhile, while he's working towards that, he should also be working towards, he should also try to work on himself as well. He really need to work on himself, because it's not all about granting him bail. It's all about him becoming a changed person. If only he can sincerely um, become a changed person, God, who alone sees the heart of man, can decide to spare him that opportunity, not even minding if he has spent up to a year in the guard room, and bring him out of that place. So that is what that actually call for. So I will personally want to advise Orji Uzokalo to to start working on that same faith that rescued his colleague, his colleague, who is even ahead of ahead of. So that thing that actually granted him a bail, he should be praying that God should allow the same thing to grant him bail as well. But then there should be uh, an, an instrument, that should be a sign of change in him. So with this that has been made open, I want to believe that um, I want to believe that Orji Uzokalo should we start working towards his own release. And as for the man that